Good day, class. I welcome you specially to today's geography class. Remember, in the last class, we have looked at settlement interdependence. That is, the various ways through which one settlement depends on the other, rural and urban settlement. I told you rural settlements depend on urban settlements for processed materials like milk, while the urban settlement depends on the rural area for food in particular, like yam and so other, and many more benefits they derive from the rural area. But today, we are looking at urbanization. Urbanization. By the end of this class, you are expected to be able to define the term urbanization, examine the reasons or causes of urbanization. You should be able to analyze the consequences or the effects of urbanization, and finally you profile solution to the problems outlined. That is what we are doing today. Let's quickly look at the meaning of urbanization. Urbanization is simply defined as the growth of a town in terms of human population and the physical size. When an area, a town, increases in terms of the people living there, as well as the size of that area, we said urbanization has taken place. Let's look at these pictures quickly. You can see, this is a picture of a rural area, while this is a picture of an urban area. This place was like this before. But you can see now, the number of buildings here, they are more than this place. The number of people here, they are more than here. That is what we refer to urbanization. This settlement has been, the characteristics have been transformed from a rural characteristic to an urban characteristic. That is what we mean by urbanization. Now, let's look at the causes. What are the reasons behind that movement, that shift? One of them is accessibility. When you have good roads, railways, as well as airports, this is one of the major reasons for a town changing from a rural characteristic to an urban characteristic. We have administrative centers. Towns or cities are seat of government. Like we have Akure in Ondo State. You can see, like Nigeria as a whole, Abuja is the seat of the government, the capital of Nigeria. You can see such area will have more people, and we have better facilities around the place. We have presence of social amenities, electricity, and many other facilities to be enjoyed. So they are found in those areas. Because of that, many people troop in there. That is why the characteristic of that area will change to become an urban area. Absence of disaster. Nobody will want to stay in an area where there are trouble, earthquake and all those ones. So an area that is peaceful, people want to go there. That is one of the reasons for increase in the size as well as the number of people in that area. And then you look at favorable climates. Nobody will want to live in a climate that is harsh, too hot or too cold. So areas with moderate temperature, you see we have more population. No wonder we have more people in Europe and all those areas with a temperate climate. Areas that are not too cold, they are not too hot. And we have the last reason here, good relief. Rugged areas are uninhabitable, especially those that are too rugged. Places that have too much hills, they are uninhabitable. But areas with low land, many people live there. Let's look at the effects. We have got the negative and the positive effect. Let me just highlight the positive effect. We have increase in labor force. And an area that we have recorded increased number of people there, automatically workers, to get people to work in various places is very easy. Advancement in technology, the government will brace up to make sure they provide a lot of facilities to cater for that population. Then good transport network will be developed by the government. These are the benefits when an area is urbanized. Then we look at more jobs will be created to be able to accommodate that population. These are the positive effects. Now let's look at the negative aspect of it. You can see, I don't want to say that urbanization will cause more harm than good, but we have the good and the bad aspect too. Let's look at this. Unemployment is inevitable because if it has gone to a point whereby the government cannot control, unemployment will occur. Then we have increased vices or crime rates like prostitution, common in cities. You can find that in villages. Then you have to talk of things like armed robbery, pickpocketing, a lot of things not to mention that you cannot even mention. You can find in town because of the population there. Then you talk of overcrowded houses. People, you can see 5 persons can live in a room. Imagine that. In fact, you can see married people, 2 persons can manage 1 room in some urban areas. You can see how worse it is. You know, look at traffic congestion, a lot of vehicles on the roads, and then look at inadequate food that is certain. Some people, in fact, they live for half $1 in a day. And finally, look at environmental pollution everywhere. The waste material will be exposed due to high population. And look at the solution to the problem. When population is controlled, like strict migration policy or reduced birth rate, you can see that will control the problem of urbanization. Job creation improvement in transport network like construction of flyovers. This can help. And then adequate planning as well as provision of more food. The government can import food. When this is done, the problem is solved. So, I want to enjoin you to open the attached documents for more information, and don't forget to turn in your tax before the end of today. Remain blessed. Thanks.